The swim team start their season and senior days dominate the weekend at Broad and Awney. Hello, I'm Brendan Rigney.
And I'm Jake Smolinski, and you're watching LaSalle TV's home for Explore Athletics, SportsLine. Welcome. We've got a great show for you today as Cody Barr joins us later to talk about fellow explorers who are garnering some exciting recognition. And later, Anna Gomez gets you ready for some LaSalle sports action in marquee matchup.
That's right, Jake. But first, let's wind back and see what went down for the past week for the fall athletics. The seniors of LaSalle women's soccer were honored in the game against George Mason University on Saturday, October 25th. The Explorers honored 6 seniors, including the all-time leading scorer, Kelsey Haycock, the all-time leader in assists, Mariam Husseini, and goalkeeper Jessica Wiggins. The senior Explorers were honored in tremendous fashion as they notched the 4-1 win over the Patriots to continue their unbeaten streak in the Atlantic 10 Conference. Husseini recorded 3 assists to claim the all-time leader in assist spot for the program. Haycock got herself a pair of goals, followed by Gabrielle Carbone's first goal of the season and a header from Carrie Aiken.
And over on the men's team, the guys took on crosstown rival the St. Joseph Hawks on Friday. The match between these two squads was a low-scoring contest, highlighting the power of the defense. LaSalle was able to score the only goal of the game around the 25th minute. The strike came off the foot of junior Joe Farrell, making for his 5th goal on the 2014 season. Goalkeeper Mike Kirk fended off 12 shots from the Hawks to secure his 5th shutout on the year as the Blue and Gold claimed victory.
This past weekend, the men and women rowing teams both had stellar performances on the water at the head of the Schuylkill. The men's Novice 8 began the afternoon finishing 6th out of 32 boats with a time of 13:53.8. The team also entered a boat in the Championship Club 8 race where they finished with a time of 15:12.65, coming in 16th place out of 19 boats. That is a mouthful.
And the women's team also entered an 8th boat in the Championship Club race. The women's competed against 31 boats, crossing the finish line at 16:47.15 for 24th place. The boat protected bragging rights in the city's Big Five by outlasting the St. Joe's Hawks by nearly 10 seconds. The Varsity Four came in 22nd in their race out of 42 boats.
This number soup right there. On October 23rd, the men's swimming and dive team opened up their season and dominated Big Five rival Villanova with a final score of 207-87. LaSalle freshman Fabian Bergman, placed first in the 200 individual medley while also finishing 2nd in the 200 freestyle. Sophomore Matthias Glenesk, love that guy, pushed LaSalle to victory with a first-place finish in the 1,000-yard freestyle. Junior teammate Justin Hughes contributed by winning the 100-yard backstroke with a close 1.41-second lead. Freshman Dmitry Mladenovich helped out LaSalle with a first-place finish in the 100-yard breaststroke. The final victory came from senior Stefan Sharp, who won the 500-yard freestyle by a close 1.61-second finish over 2nd place.
And the women's team had a rockier start to their season as they couldn't tame the Villanova Wildcats. Despite the efforts of Kelsey Jenkinson, who won the 100-yard breaststroke, clocking a time of 1 minute and 5.82 seconds, and Paige Frischkorn, who won both the 1 and 3-meter dive events, the Explorers fell to Nova 183-113. And with very little time to rest, both the men's and women's team took on another Philadelphia rival. So we send it over to Anna Gomez, who caught the action at Kirk Pool.
On Friday, October 24th, LaSalle men's and women's swimming and diving took to Kirk Pool for the first time this season against inner-city rivals, the Drexel Dragons. In light of a strong start the night before at Villanova, the Explorers were anxious about their performances. However, both our men's and women's teams arrived with confidence and high energy that contributed to 2 victories. We talked to senior diver Dahlia Gordon to get a better perspective. The men's team sailed past the Dragons 184 to 116. The women also performed outstandingly with a final tally of 180 to 119. The Explorers return to Kirk Pool November 15th against George Mason. But if this meet was any indication, the blue and gold is heading towards a season that is sure to make a splash.
Thanks, Anna. And after a busy opening weekend, we brought in swimmer Justin Hughes to sit down with Steve Graham to talk about what we can expect from the swimmers and divers this year. Check it out.
Welcome to SportsLine's On the Sidelines. I'm Steve Graham, and today I'm joined by Justin Hughes, member of LaSalle swimming team. Justin, thanks for coming out.
Yeah,
it's going to be awesome. So, this weekend we experienced a little history. You got in the pool, broke a 26-year-old pool record in Kirk Pool at LaSalle facilities. Can you paint this picture? It's a 400-yard relay. What happened?
Yeah, well, earlier in the day, or actually the day before, we swam against Villanova, and we did a 4x100 medley relay, and the relays were divided up by class. So we had the freshmen versus the sophomores versus the juniors versus the seniors, and our freshmen, mainly an international contingent, they actually went faster than the pool record against Villanova. So, keeping that in mind, going into Drexel the next day with a full strength relay team, we were pretty confident we were going to do it, and we spent the whole day talking about it and stuff. So when it came down to it, we were all very, very psyched. And we just went out and did it.
You ended up beating it by 3 seconds. Did you know, were you the anchor in the relay?
Yeah.
Did you know once you hit the wall, you guys did it?
Not really immediately though. I was kind of more focused on the Drexel guy. They caught us up in the butterfly, and we it was more of just a panic to win it,
Yeah.
And then when I hit the wall, I looked up and saw new
Must
record.
have been an unbelievable feeling. But later in the meet as well, you won 2 individual events. I mean, you put the team on your back in that meet. How'd that feel?
Yeah, felt pretty good. The team as a whole, we've been working quite hard. I wasn't really. I was quite happy with my performance, but I wasn't too surprised with the team's performance as a whole, because everyone's been working really hard, and it hasn't been just me. Our freshmen who have come in, they've put in a lot of work and stuff like that. They're hungry, and the whole team in general is really going for it. So it's exciting.
Yeah. And breaking a record this early, or winning individual meets, how do you see? Do you have a prediction for this season compared to last season? I know last season in A10s, you were on top of your game. You're breaking personal records in every A10 meet, and now going forward, it's a good start to the season. Where do you see you guys going from here?
Well, I would definitely say we're the men's team, is going to be a force to be reckoned with going into the A10, just because we're breaking 26-year-old records now in our in our opening meets and stuff, which has never been done before. Normally the records fall towards the end, when we're resting off, and we everything's fine tuned. But we're doing it. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and I gotta say, I have tremendous respect for swimmers, and I'll give you 2 reasons. In high school, I'm putting it in a category of a stamina sport. I ran. I wasn't great, but the best guys. You're not only in tip-top shape, but there's a whole nother a mental aspect to it. Do you think so? You can be in the shape you need to be to win a race, but it's a mental, that fire inside you to win the race.
Yeah, you're definitely going into a race. You're gonna, running. You're gonna be in a fairly substantial amount of pain. And also, there's that whole aspect of not wanting to let your team down, and wanting, almost prove to yourself that, all the hard work was worth it. So, yeah, definitely, you are fighting a mental battle, when you're getting on the block, and it's all about just staying cool and confident and going in and doing what you've been training to do.
I believe it. Last fall semester, I ended up playing water polo for the club team here at LaSalle, you know, the throwing the ball is cool. I had no problem with that. But the swimming is awful. I don't know how you guys do it. It's just back and forth. But we're going to get more personal here. It's Halloween season. So you're from South Africa?
Yeah.
Did they celebrate Halloween over there?
Yeah, it's a growing thing. It's not that big. You know, it's only really if like certain streets and neighborhoods organize it. You know, growing up, I didn't trick or treat or anything like that, just because there was nothing organized.
Yeah.
But yeah, obviously obviously it's a lot different.
So it's a lot different here.
Yeah.
Do you plan on dressing up this year?
Yeah. I'll probably dress up. I'll definitely dress up.
Any ideas yet? Can you give us a sneak peek?
Either Oscar Pistorius, you know, the Blade Runner.
Okay.
Yeah, or
So like,
yeah.
are you gonna? Because he has the leg. Right?
Oh yeah. I haven't figured out how I'm gonna do that yet, but you know.
That's an interesting idea.
Yeah.
He's going to jail, right?
Yeah, he's in jail at the moment. So you know.
Well, I'm putting on a taco. You ever had a taco?
Oh yeah. I know what a taco
Well,
is.
this has just been an interesting conversation. And thank you for joining us today.
Yeah, sure.
That's going to do it for On the Sidelines. I'm Steve Graham, and back to you guys.
Thanks, Steve. From the pool to the greens, the LaSalle men's golf team competed at the inaugural shootout at Militia Hill on Saturday. The one-day event highlighted the best of Philadelphia collegiate golf as the Explorers shot 14 over par as a team, with graduate student Tody Aspun shooting an even par 72. Aspun finished 4th out of the 30 players that competed. The Penn Quakers won the shootout at Militia Hill, while LaSalle finished in 4th place.
And also nearing the end of their season is the field hockey team. The Explorers faced off against Atlantic 10 powerhouse University of Massachusetts on Friday in their last home conference game of the season. We sent it to field hockey correspondent Cody Barr for more.
Hoping to secure their bid to the A10 tournament, the Explorers took to DeVincent Field on Friday against the University of Massachusetts. The Minutewomen have only one loss in the conference, and LaSalle felt the pressure. In the opening 35 minutes, UMass totaled 15 shots on goal to LaSalle's 5, and were rewarded 6 penalty corners. To LaSalle's luck and Rachel Hartman's credit, UMass was only able to capitalize once. In the 26th minute, UMass took the 1-0 lead. Coming out of the half, UMass scored again, putting the Explorers back by 2. With fire in their bellies, LaSalle turned it on after struggling in the midfield for most of the game. With 5 minutes left, Gina Smith tipped in a shot by Devin Morocco to prevent the shutout. Unfortunately, UMass retaliated immediately, and within a minute, they were up again by 2. The game ended with confusion as LaSalle seemed to score in a corner with no time left. However, it was ruled back due to a ball deflecting off of an Explorer body. The loss puts LaSalle just out of contention for the conference tournament unless there is an upset in the final week of play.
However, the Explorers did turn things around for their last home game of the season. After celebrating their 3 seniors, LaSalle took on Bryant University. Kickstarting the Explorer offense was senior captain Colleen Kempf, who scored twice in the opening half. Her first goal was assisted by fellow senior Olivia Lehman, while the second assist was credited to Maddie Tettelbach, the other member of the trio of seniors. Following their lead, sophomore Gina Smith notched the 3rd unanswered goal in the half for the Blue and Gold. Things slowed in the second half as the Explorers only tallied 1 additional point. Keeper Rachel Hartman racked up 8 saves before being switched out so Brittany Pashall could see more time. The rookie saw 4 shots and surrendered a goal that prevented the shutout. After dominating for 70 minutes and out-shooting Bryant 21-18, LaSalle snagged their 9th win of the season.
And just across 20th Street, the volleyball team took to the court Friday at 7. Brendan has more from the Heyman Center.
Brendan Rigney here to give you the lowdown on LaSalle volleyball's bout with George Washington. Coach Rungalo looking to turn it around as the season winds down. Set 1 began assuringly enough as both teams looked sharp and went blow for blow to tie it at 4. That is, until GW awoke and lit the Explorers up. The George Washington squad rolled to an 11-5 lead as LaSalle continued to tumble. Their opponent piled on and added to their lead to make matters even worse. Despite Coach Rimgala's efforts on the sideline, the team could muster only a partial comeback before falling 25-16. Displeased, Rimgala made sure to light a fire for her girls in set 2. After a quick 2-point lead for LaSalle, GW played ferociously to score 5 straight, but LaSalle fought back to keep it close. Here's where things certainly get interesting. Just as they began set 1, the Explorers entered into a shootout. Indeed, both mistakes and points were swapped by both. Tensions rose and I got the cold sweats as no lead was safe for either team. Mixed in with more mistakes were plays that showed why George Washington is third in the A10. LaSalle kept pace to tie at 23 before 2 heartbreaking points. Down 24-23, the Explorers answered each Colonial attack, but they couldn't help but bite the dust. Set 2 ended with a 25-23 score, and LaSalle headed to break down 2 sets. If the second set sums up the current season and how the team loses competitively, set 3 was a different story as they uncharacteristically lost from the get-go. George Washington showed no mercy out of the gate as they dominated the court and the scoreboard. The Colonials generously gave LaSalle time to catch up a bit, but the home team's fate had already been sealed. GW finished out the set 25-10. The night highlighted junior Laura Kohlmeyer's 7 kills as well as Jennifer Whelan's 6 kills and 2 aces. Well, certainly the grass appears greener on the other side for LaSalle. Reporting for SportsLine, I'm Brendan Rigney. Don't be a stranger. Sunday, October 26th, saw the volleyball team bounce back from their loss against George Washington and improve their record to 9-17 on the year with a 4-set victory over George Mason University. Rolling quickly, LaSalle managed to take sets 1 and 2 by identical score lines of 25-18. Coming out of the break, however, George Mason barely held on by a score of 26-24, forcing a 4th set. A late rally by the Patriots notched the game up to tie the score at 20 in the 4th go-around, but LaSalle stood firm, eking out 5 of the last 8 points scored and winning 25-23. 4 players for the Explorers finished with double-digit kills, including Kelly Perillo, Jennifer Whelan, Laura Kohlmeyer, and freshman Hannah McGarry.
This is Nick Bramante from LaSalle Explorers, and you are watching LaSalle TV.
I'm Steve Graham reporting for LTV News.
I'm Corey Meredith. I'm reporter Madison Elliott.
Hello, Brendan Rigney here.
And welcome to LTV News. Let's step back and take a look at the world. I'm here to tell you what's a buzz in Philadelphia.
Let's check it out.
It's an eclectic mix. I don't think that this tax is the way to do it.
They actually have a little celebration going on, and
I think it's a step in the right direction.
I'm sitting down with my friend and fellow colleague for LaSalle TV, Jacob Smolinski.
We've got Miss Pinup, we've got Mr. Classy Designer.
Polarizing news reporter and political commentator Chris Matthews.
September 28th was a most auspicious day for the 52nd annual Puerto Rican Day Parade.
Finagling his way back into her life is Brendan Rigney, LTV charmer.
Alongside of me, SGA president and dear friend, Muffy Torres.
Groovy. Now let's talk fashion.
Reporter Steve Graham had the opportunity to cover the event.
the talent is evidently here.
Big plans.
So, I don't know, some really great things going on.
Welcome back. Here to join us now for this week's Exploring Headlines, please welcome our very own Cody Barr.
Thanks, Brendan. Let's get to it. The Atlantic 10 handed the week's cross-country Rookie of the Week honors to explorer Morgan Zeckley, who placed 57th in the 6K at the ISU Pre-Nationals. Competing against 293 other runners, the LaSalle freshman finished with a time of 21 minutes and 41.1 seconds. Here's some reassuring news for women's basketball fans. Senior Alicia Cropper has been named to the A10 preseason second team, and the LaSalle team has been ranked 8th out of 14 in the conference this upcoming year. Cropper led the team last year in points per game with 14.7 average. Now let's talk soccer. Junior men's goalkeeper Mike Kirk was named Defender of the Week by Philadelphia Soccer 6. Kirk saved 4 goals against St. Joe's to help him record his 5th shutout of the season. Switching to the women's team, College Soccer 360 has named redshirt freshman Paige McDowell as a primetime performer after her efforts against both Dayton and St. Louis. With her help, the Explorers shut out the Flyers and held the Billikens to only a single goal. Let's add another Player of the Week honor to our tally for senior Kelsey Haycock, making this her 10th time winning the honor. While McDowell anchored the sturdy defense, Haycock was instrumental for the offense as she kicked the only goal of the game against Dayton and the game winner against St. Louis. And why not stop there? Only adding to her already stellar career, Haycock has been nominated for the Mac Herman Trophy Fans' Choice Vote. Want to help her win this prestigious award? Go out to goexplorers.com for further details and cast your vote. And finally, the rowing program has christened and added a Joseph D. McNamara 56 boat to its fleet as a way to honor the alumnus who shares the boat's name. McNamara, who passed away in August of 2013, was a LaSalle graduate in the class of 1956 and was a devoted fan and supporter of the LaSalle's rowing program. The boat will be used by the women's varsity 8.
Well, thank you, Cody, for
You're
stopping
welcome.
by. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, except I said that the goalkeeper scored some goals, which doesn't really make sense, but I switched it.
It's okay, a little bit of a snafu.
It's okay.
But it's nice to have you on.
Thank
so
you
we're gonna. I'm so happy to have you on with me. Actually, it's nice to come back. But now that we've covered the past, let's look to the future. Anna Gomez brings us this week's marquee matchup. Take it away, Anna.
Hello, and welcome to this week's edition of Marquee Matchup. I'm Anna Gomez, here to tell you about the exciting conference championship coming up this weekend. The men and women's cross-country teams are looking to have another incredibly successful match at the Atlantic 10 Conference Championships. Last year, the men made the predictions a reality when they took home the overall championship title. They're returning this Saturday, hoping to defend it with the help of 2 key runners. Senior Nico Greco is no stranger to victory. He took home the individual championship title last year. Greco ran the 8 kilometers in an impressive 23 minutes, 46.9 seconds. He has been leading the Explorers this season and is looking to capitalize on this momentum. Ben Purcell is also no stranger to the Atlantic 10 Championships. The senior competed last year, placing 58th with a time of 25 minutes, 28.8 seconds. He has consistently been one of the men right behind Greco, so it'll be interesting to see how he paces the course this year. Switching things up, let's talk about women's cross country. The Explorers took home 3rd place at the championships last year, edged out by Duquesne and Richmond, after being slated to take 2nd behind Richmond. This year's women's race is a little different as the run was 6 kilometers, now it's a 5 kilometers, so it'll be interesting to see how this affects the veterans. For the women, there are 2 runners we're looking at to lead the Explorers. First is standout Morgan Zeckley. The freshman has already made a name for herself this season. Zeckley has been named the Atlantic 10's Rookie of the Week and has topped the Explorers sheets almost every race this season. We'll definitely be looking forward to see how Zeckley races in her first 5K of her career. Also slated to make an impression is senior Molly Mickle. She previously ran 6K in 22 minutes, 24 seconds. But Mickle is poised to become one of the front runners this Saturday, as she has in her previous matches this season. Now that we've touched on some individuals, let's see what aspects of play the team needs to accomplish in order to secure 2 successful races. For the men, they're going to want to keep sticking together. The men are consistent in pacing with each other, so if they want to capitalize on what has made them a strong team already this season against other Atlantic 10 teams, they'll want to keep their strides wide and their sneakers on each other's heels. The women's team has a lot of new faces this season, so they'll want to be prepared and add depth. While the course is new to all runners, the conference championships and what is expected of rival teams is not, so the women's team will want to embrace themselves for anything the course and their adversaries have for them. However, the trio of Megan Connell, Emily Ward, and Megan Zeckley are a force on the course, performing strong in meets. These 3 young women will bring much needed depth to the roster, hopefully to round out an overall strong performance from the women's team. All of the action starts this Saturday, 10 a.m. at Schlenley Park in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. For SportsLine, I'm Anna Gomez. Go Explorers!
Well, that just about wraps it up for us this week. So if you can't make it out to see the marquee matchup game, make sure to tune in next week for our coverage. Be sure to keep up with this weekend's other sporting events by following us on Twitter at SportsLine LTV. We post game updates and sneak peeks into the upcoming show.
Also, check us out on Facebook at facebook.com/LaSalleTV. We welcome you to send us your thoughts and suggestions about the show on either website.
So for Brendan, Cody, and our entire SportsLine team, I'm Jake Smolinski. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you at the game.